Welcome back to Whispers in the Woods. This is episode number 2. So we're going to be diving deep into it. What I'm going to be speaking about is layers of corruption, a web of corruption, and I'm going to take this in parts, in bits and pieces. At first, there's going to be a broader kind of picture painted for the audience so they can fully understand and wrap their mind about. And I'm going to stop at certain sections and I'll pick up on the next episode. And then after I get done doing that, I'm going to dive into details, very specific details that will expose these people for exactly who they are and what they stand for, so the American public can see exactly what they are and why they need to be destroyed. This web of corruption that involves the Space Force. So, Space Force, right? Federal agency, part of the United States government. They utilize USAID, the VA, the justice system, local police, and sheriff's department, and the corrupt FBI. So the thing that I wanted to point out with this is the corrupt FBI and the Space Force. And I want to go over these government entities as a whole, right? So with light and dark, right? Duality. You're going to have light and dark that exist within these organizations. I'm not saying the entire organization as a whole is corrupt. There's got to be some good human beings out there. However, I have not seen any. And the way that the majority of these entities operate on a daily would be considered completely illegal, completely unethical, and you can see the moral decay in it when I point it out. Now, the thing about it, when you have interagency cooperation, a lot of the times what these people do is they speak to each other, right? You'll have corrupt Space Force talk to corrupt FBI, and they will feed specific narratives that are completely untrue, yet they go upon the reputation of the individual that they're talking to. And maybe they don't know them too well. So they take that information and they run with it. You know, they will immediately think that someone is a bad person because they heard so-and-so from Joe at the Space Force, you know what I mean? That this person is about this and lives this way and this lifestyle, which couldn't be further from the truth. You know, narratives, lies, deceptions, and with that comes the huge illusion that these intelligence organizations paint and will paint as long as it benefits them. So we will get into secret government programs. This is something that the Space Force is deeply involved with. We can go over specific secret government programs, but I think I'm going to save that for a later time. But just know that these secret government programs exist. And without you knowing, you could be subjected and injected into one of these secret government programs without you even knowing. So they get a name, a contract is awarded to corrupt government officials. This contract involves money, you know, in the form of pay raises, promotions were promised. You know, that's usually how this type of thing works, you know, through government systems. You know, they want to make sure everything is kind of on the up and up. Oh, well, we just gave this person a promotion. They did a phenomenal job. They attacked this human being and they injected him into this program. They studied him. You know, they gained a lot of information, blah, blah, blah. You know, that's how secret government programs work. And this is all at the behest of the United States government. So this is induced and carried out by the federal government. From there, covert and overt surveillance takes place on the target. So this comes after the contract is awarded, correct? You get a name, you get a contract. From there, covert and overt surveillance. A little bit before that, you're going to have a form. You're going to have some type of plan that's formulated by a person in this group, perhaps a head, very corrupt individual, you know, especially if they have surveilled this target in the past and they know what he's about and they know that he's not conducting any illegal activities such as myself. They have to formulate a very specific plan, and it has to be carried out in a very specific way, you know, to introduce things to the target that will implicate them in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? They hacked into every piece of technology I have. This comes in the forms of phones, laptops, iPads, etc. It goes on and on. Now, through this hacking, what they can do is nothing less than everything. They can get into your social media. They could create posts without you knowing. They can create handles. These are just some of the things that I suspect happen, yet I have not fully seen. You know, I haven't been given any of this evidence, but I can only imagine that these people do the most. Pretend to be you on a consistent basis, you know. Now, to infiltrate my home, they recruited help from family members, co-workers, and acquaintances. And really, I don't have any friends. I have one friend, and they didn't come after him because they know they wouldn't be able to. They know they could never breach that. So they didn't come after that. They come after acquaintances, which that's essentially all I had. And in the form of co-workers, as far as family members, all the family members that I had around me were fake as fuck. I mean, they were merely just an illusion. You know, something that you get, you feed into, you know what I mean? You think people are for you and they're not, you know? If you're ever wondering if somebody's for you, simply watch them, you know, watch them. People will show you exactly who they are, and they will show you exactly who they are not. They created a monopoly within the HOA where I lived to have control over communications and surveilling me in my own home. So this is highly fucking illegal, especially if you are investigating a person for absolutely no reason. You know, you're supposed to investigate crimes, not people. I think Dan Bongino said this in the past, but I will bring that up because it's kind of relevant. Now, through that control, they can then watch you through smart TVs, as well as strategically placing Bluetooth devices throughout the home. So this is so they can pick up on anything that you say, so they can use against you in some weird court of law, which they don't have anything that they could use against me. Anything that they have was completely fabricated, completely untrue, and it's just filled with lies. Lies and narratives that these motherfuckers come up with because they're corrupt and they're garbage. Again, you want to make a name for yourself within these government organizations, and one way that they do it is to tear people down. They will tear individuals down. They will walk on people just so they can get a promotion. That's how these people operate. That's how scummy they are, and they deserve the worst, and I'm going to give it to them. They know that people are a resource and will use people to harass you everywhere you go, as well as inject themselves into scenarios when necessary. So this comes in many forms, actually, but this is one thing that they do very well. They understand that people are a resource. They will recruit anyone and everyone around you. They will make your life a fucking Truman Show, you know, which is exactly what they did to me. They made my life the Truman Show, you know. They watched, they manipulate, they curate things. They will force narratives that aren't true. This is what they do, but they use people as a resource. Some of the people that they use, again, are involved within the VA itself. They will send spies in. In a very intimate setting, you know, in a group setting where you're supposed to be sharing very confidential information, medical information perhaps, and they will spy on you. You know, they did this in multiple forms, in multiple ways. Again, recruiting coworkers is one of the techniques and procedures that they use. Had a boss come up against me His name is Mark Wainwright, a fat piece of garbage, which, again, just used as a pawn, a tool. Jack Myers is another scumbag that I can think of that came up against me. He deserves the worst, and I'm going to give it to him. Both of those individuals. I'm going to make sure that they fucking suffer, and I'm going to sue them for everything that they have. And that's the way it's going to be. Those are just two individuals that I'm going to name right now. But in later videos, I'm going to go more in depth on people. I'm going to name names. I'm going to give specific details. And I've already done this before, you know, in the form of writing, you know, which is what a lot of people don't understand is that I'm a very good writer. So that's something that I've done in the past in my off time. And I thoroughly enjoy it, you know, because it's just more exposure for you people. I'm going to expose everything about you people. I'm going to tear it down, not because I have to, but because I want to. I'm obligated to. It's my fucking duty as a human being. Another technique that they use, honeypots. You know, this is a technique that they used on me multiple times. It never worked. I don't know how they handpick these women, but these women are fucking, more than likely, everyone that was sent to me was completely unattractive, also had some type of mental illness that they carry with them, a lot of toxicity, you know, within their soul, which I can feel, which I can sense. And that's another thing about these groups, you know, they will underestimate you to the point of insanity. You know, it's insane to underestimate somebody so much and expect to achieve a major outcome. Again, it's on the verge of insanity, but that's the way that these people operate because they're overconfident, because they've had successes in the past with multiple other people. Well, your successes did not work with me. They never did. They never will. I saw through all your bullshit, and now it's going to be time to pay the price. They will hold secret conversations with anyone you come into contact with to discredit you, and their goal is to create a mask in an attempt to destroy your reputation. Let me shift here for a second. Let me just pause and shift here for a second because the sun is getting a little intense and it's in my eyes. All right, that's a little bit better. All right, let me go back. They will hold secret conversations with anyone you come into contact with to discredit you, and their goal is to create a mask in an attempt to destroy your reputation. So this is something that you intuitively have to pick up on, because if you are around people and you know something's off, you know that they're acting strange for whatever reason, it's because these secret conversations are happening. It's because they are spreading lies about who you really are. And what they did was nothing that will hold any weight. Because again, they just created a mask that will never fit you because they created a reputation. A reputation does not destroy your character. At the end, your character will always shine through. And my character will always shine through. I've shown that on multiple occasions. I don't give a shit what anybody says about me. I'm going to fucking end you people because that's in my soul contract. That's my fucking character. I'm going to show you how to treat me, and I'm going to show you exactly where you belong because I'm going to guide you to the fucking underworld. Through these attacks, they wish to isolate you. Okay, so without getting too much, in my ego, and that's not really what I'm trying to achieve right now. I'm not doing this because I'm in my ego. I'm doing this because there is a targeted aggression that I have towards this group, and I am very much targeting and I am channeling that aggression so I can tear you fucking people down to pieces, because that's what I'm going to do. But again, this goes with the underestimations, okay? They wish to isolate you. They wanted to isolate me, it's hilarious to me. It's truly funny to me, because I know within my heart, within my mind, within my soul, that I thrive in isolation, and I am a fucking wolf, and I'm going to eat your organization whole. That's it. That's how it's going to be. Again, that is something that I've proved on multiple occasions as well. I thrive in isolation. I will grow. I will learn. I will evolve. You people do not. The Space Force, with the help of undercover cops, entrapped me when I was attempting to collect evidence of the harassment. Now, this harassment that I speak of, this isn't small potatoes. This isn't one or two people. I'm talking about dozens of people following you around in everywhere that you go, from the grocery store to the movies to the gym, anywhere. They will openly surveil you or overtly surveil you in an attempt to make you paranoid, to make you scared. These are fear tactics. Do not feed into that fear. Do not feed into that fear. Simply staying to myself and not feeding into their bullshit, it disrupts the pattern that they are trying to create. It disrupts everything. When you do not react, all that is, when you look at it from an outside point of view, it is reactive abuse. They are looking for specific reactions, so you show people that you are crazy. Because, oh, I'm not following you, you know. Meanwhile, they have dozens of people following you around. Following you around openly. Everywhere that you go, they will harass you. Well, I got tired of that, so I pushed back. And when I pushed back, they didn't like that too much. And that's where they entrapped me and illegally arrested me. So they illegally arrested me through false, untrue statements, as well as false police reports. I read the police report, completely fucking fabricated. Police officer was never there at the time of anything that occurred. Never. So everything that he wrote was completely untrue, and it was secondhand information given to him by a corrupt undercover police officer who was harassing me and followed me to multiple locations. This is a scumbag that I'm absolutely gonna bury, and I'm gonna make sure that you see the inside of a fucking cell for a very long time. I'm gonna come at you however and whenever I can. You pulled a fucking knife on me for absolutely no reason, and I could have killed you 5 times over, as well as every other individual there with you. At the time of this arrest, I didn't have any weapons on me. I had absolutely nothing on me. I didn't have my cell phone. I didn't have my pistol. Everything was in an everyday carry bag inside the truck that they illegally searched and obtained my pistol, which they still have. Fort Myers Police still has this shit. But what this does show you is the coordination between the corrupt undercover cops and the existing Fort Myers Police Department. All they have to do is make false accusations and they'll run with it. I remain completely silent. I remain completely silent about anything that occurred. Anything. Because I didn't trust any of them. They're all corrupt, and I saw through all of you scumbags. During my incarceration, they tortured me mentally, physically, and spiritually through the help of corrupt government officials, judges, and would-be recruits. Would-be recruits. So this is where I'm going to end this particular video today, is by talking about these recruiting tactics. Now, after they arrest an individual, you know, there's going to be some type of court-ordered community service. And this came to me in the form of 100 hours. You know, one way to serve those hours is within the jail itself. So they have a list in which they give you to where you can serve within the jail itself. You know, these community service hours. So this is an indoctrination and a recruitment tactic that they use, that the Space Force uses, against targeted individuals and or individuals that were arrested in the past. So a lot of the hate that I get from this group, a lot of the jealousy that I get from this group is because they accepted something that I never will. And I want to be extremely clear on this. And this goes out to the people in the Space Force. I wouldn't work for you if you fucking begged me. I wouldn't work for you if you fucking begged me, and if you paid me 10 times the going rate of a normal salary. I would never work for you. I mean to dismantle your group, and I'm going to systematically destroy it, one video, one truth at a time. I will never work for you. I see through all your bullshit, all your illusions. You use fucking criminals, and then you recruit them into your organization. Now, how do I know this, right? How do I know this? Because I'm an intuitive motherfucker. That's how. I'm fucking intuitive, number one. Number two, there is also evidence that I have within my mind that I know that I experienced within that jail. Multiple things. And I'm going to go way in detail in future videos as far as the things that I experienced within that corrupt jail system itself. And there is a lot of illegal activity. There is a lot of corrupt guards, a lot of corrupt individuals, and it's all tied to the judicial system itself. Now, what was I getting to? So that evidence that exists within my mind. I was in isolation, so they put me on a 23-hour lockdown every day. Every day I was in a cell by myself. So solitary confinement is what they would call it. I get 45 minutes to take a shower and to walk around the pod by myself. So that's exactly what I did. Well, in the adjacent pod that was next to me, these people are being indoctrinated into the Space Force. So by serving their community service hours, that acts as it. I know this because they were literally holding classes within the next pod. And I heard all this going down. I hear everything. I could fucking hear it through walls. You people keep underestimating me, and I told you not to. I know a lot about the things that happen in that jail, and all of it is illegal. All of it is highly illegal, and it wouldn't be accepted by the majority of the American people. And I'm going to call you out on it, and I'm going to continue to until something changes, because that's why I'm here. This shit is in my fucking soul contract to make these changes, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I've been standing on business for a very long time. Part of that business is exposing you motherfuckers for exactly who you are, and I'm going to stand on it every chance that I get. And I'm going to sit here and chill like a fucking villain. I am your villain in this fucking story. And I'm here to bring around drastic fucking change. Change that you can't even comprehend. Because you, all you individuals that are within the Space Force that got recruited in this manner, you accepted something that I never will. You are fucking sellouts. You are sellouts and you are fucking cowards. And I don't fucking stand with cowards, and I never will. You people are pussies. That being said, let's step back a little bit. This is where I'm going to end this episode. This is exactly where I'm going to end this episode, and then I'm going to pick up future videos on more. And I'm going to continue to expose more as these videos go on. And then I'm going to backtrack and I'm going to go to specific events. But one thing that I want to be completely clear about is there is some things that I'm going to leave out. And I'm only going to go over the past few years. I'm going to only go over the past few years because this shit goes back to when I was born. All this corruption and all these evil things that were done against me, all these past transgressions conducted by illegal activity, this has been happening since I was born. And they have been injecting themselves in my life as time goes on. And that's okay. These are all things that I was meant to experience. But some of those things that I would speak about, I cannot because they're of a darker nature. It's so dark that nobody would be able to consume it because it wouldn't be able to be heard by the audience. You know, YouTube would definitely flag me, ban me, shadow ban me, all this other bullshit, which is things that they've probably done in the past. But I just wanted to throw that disclaimer out. I am going to go in detail, but there are things that I'm going to leave out because there are things that happened in the past few years that are of a darker nature. And it wouldn't be able to be digested by the population. Till next time.